This story is preserved in the sacred Shaivite text, Periya Puranam. The of a tribal hunter from southern India who used to bring water in his mouth to cleanse the Shiva Linga because he had no vessel. He cleaned the previous day's flowers near Shiva Linga with his feet because he had fresh flowers in his hands. He placed the finest meat of his hunt before Shiva Linga because that was the most precious thing he owned. Just a pure heart, trying to love his Lord the only way he knew, devotion. Tell me honestly, if someone did this today, would you call him a devotee or would you call him a sinner? Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Our own scriptures honors this man as one of Shiva's most profound devotees for his ultimate self-sacrifice. He didn't know a single mantra. He didn't know about good or bad karma. He didn't know temple rituals. He did not seek enlightenment. And yet, he was loved by Shiva more than scholars and priests. Shiva himself appeared before him. Why would the Lord of the universe choose a man who worshipped wrong? Tonight, we enter the forest to uncover the spiritual truth hidden beneath this ancient story and discover what Dharma really demands from us to liberate ourselves. The man you are judging, his name was Kannappa Nayanar. He lived far from temples, far from scriptures, far from society's approval. The forest was his home, the bow was his teacher, and survival was his daily prayer. One day, while chasing prey through the wilderness, he stopped. Beneath an old tree stood a lonely Shiva Lingam. No garlands, no priest, no bells ringing, just silence. And in that silence, something moved inside him. Tears flowed from his eyes, as if his soul recognized something his mind could not. Although he knew nothing of traditional rituals, he felt an immediate deep connection and began to worship the deity in his own way. Every day, he would return to the shrine, bringing the freshest meat from his hunt as an offering. He would fetch water from a nearby stream, carrying it in his mouth since he had no pot, and spit it over the lingam to cleanse it. Then would wipe the lingam with his own cloth, the same cloth he wore. He would shade the deity with his own body, protecting it from the harsh sun and rain. He would guard it at night, as if protecting a friend. No one was watching, no applause, no validation, just him and the one he felt in his heart. This continued for days and months, and then the story changed. One morning he arrived smiling, ready to serve. Suddenly the Shiva Lingam began to bleed from one eye. Kannappa froze. His god was in pain. Without hesitation, he tried to stop the bleeding, wiping it with the folds of his garment. But the wound did not heal. He was desperate. What could he do? Then a thought struck him. If his lord had lost an eye, he would give his own in return. Without hesitation, he took his hunting knife, placed its sharp edge against his own eye, and gouged it out. He placed the bleeding eye upon the lingam, and to his relief, the bleeding stopped. But then, the other eye on the lingam began to bleed. Now he stood half blind, the world spinning, darkness creeping in, yet he did not step back. How would he know where to place his last eye? He did something that shocks people even today. He placed his foot firmly on the lingam to mark the position, so that even in darkness he would not miss. He lifted the arrow again, ready to give his final eye, ready to enter total darkness if that meant his Lord could see. And just before the arrow touched, the universe trembled. The forest winds roared, time stood still. From the lingam emerged Mahadev, Shiva himself. He caught his hands, restored his sight, and embraced him, not as a sinner, not as a rule breaker, but as his beloved, and granted him liberation for his ultimate self-sacrifice and selfless devotion. But today, we fear God more than we believe. We think it's all about doing things right or wrong. Rituals, rules, mantras, purification. Yet, all these practices were created and followed by humans. The truth is, it's not about what others do. It's about you and the Supreme. Your heart, your devotion, your surrender. Whenever we celebrate a festival or perform a ritual, We tell ourselves, let's call a pandit first. What if we do it wrong? What if God punishes us? We make ourselves believe that we must purify our bodies, leave non-veg food, wake up at Brahma Muhurta, apply tilak, and abandon all bad habits before approaching the divine. But devotion is not in perfection or God-fearing, it is in pure, fearless love. The story of Kannappa Nayanar teaches us something far greater. No ritual, no mantra, no preparation can create devotion. In fact, true devotion often begins without any of these, just a pure heart, a single-minded love, and the courage to act. When you approach the Supreme with complete sincerity, as Kannappa did, the universe itself aligns with you. You don't need purification, ceremony, or approval. Your heart alone is enough. That is when you truly see God. That is when you truly become part of the cosmic flow.
And take our pain away. Jai, Jai, Jai. Swing along and sing the Shiva Shambho all the way.